Lothra, Lothcat, Lothwolf, run. Pick a path, and all is done.
You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon? Should I have? It's a ship that made the Castle Run in less than 12 parsecs.
Hey everyone, and welcome to
Castle Run Weekly.
My name is Danny.
I'm Heather.
Alright guys, and today we have an awesome subject I'm really excited about. We're going to be talking about the Rebels Season 4, the second trailer that just dropped last week, I believe.
I watched it.
Yes. For those of you who do not know, Heather has an aversion to trailers.
Yes. But the one thing that I've noticed about Star Wars is it's one fandom that they don't destroy the entire season with a trailer.
Yes. I completely agree. And I mean, it's kind of seen through Last Jedi. A lot of people are crying out for another trailer, and Lucasfilm's like, nah. Which I think and I think we may be due for one. And one of our group members from our smugglers group, Todd, he had actually pointed out something that I thought was kind of interesting. So you have October 16th, which is the premiere date for Season 4 Rebels. It's odd, for one, that it's even on a Monday. I mean, because they've changed everything, and it's airing like 6 times in one day, starting at midnight the day of Monday. Like, it's wild. But what he was saying is that it's possible, with it being a 2-part episode, like an hour-long episode, that it could mean that we may get a Last Jedi trailer as well on that day.
That would be cool for a lot of people.
not for you.
I don't know. I'll watch it because it's kind of my thing, but not my thing at the same time. But like I said, I mean, they haven't ruined the story for me yet. Mm-hmm. But there's other fandom that do ruin the story just by having anyone, like Doctor Who trailers are notorious. I already know what's going to happen probably at Christmas.
Oh no.
So I try to avoid them like the plague. But, as you've shown me, not every fandom is the same. So,
well, and even still, like Mark Hamill and I think Ryan Johnson both had tweeted out a while back before all of this stuff came out with Entertainment Weekly and Variety and all that, saying if you can, stay away from them, from the spoilers and things like that. And that's what I'm trying to do. So if we get another Last Jedi trailer, I'm iffy if I'm going to actually partake in it.
Well, if we get another one, I can see watching it if it's official. Mm-hmm. Just not, I wouldn't want any true spoilers because that just ruins the whole story.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and that's part of the draw of Last Jedi right now is that there's so much mystery around it.
Right.
That you literally know next to nothing. I mean, we get porgs. That's pretty much what we know for sure is going to happen.
Evil Porg says no!
I'm almost rooting for what you're wanting for the porgs, but the evil gremlins, like, that has to happen now.
I drew an evil porg is where that came from, and my evil porg is, like, not very good because I can't draw very good. But he always is very adamant that, things not go porgish ways.
We'll have to post that here soon. It'll be an official T-shirt and the whole thing. Pins, stickers, patches, all of it.
It's like Tim Burton style, only not as, awesome.
That's awesome. So getting into our main topic of the day for the Season 4, the newest trailer they released during Fan Expo in Canada, which the lucky con goers got to actually experience Episode 2 in its full glory for Season 4 Rebels, where we got the first one at Celebration. I'm almost more jealous at them.
They're so fancy.
So they got to see a little bit more of it and everything. So that's the first 2 episodes of the season, which come in at like an hour long for both of them. I mean, roughly with commercials, but maybe about 40 minutes if we're being true to it.
42 minutes, I think, is the standard.
Right. So there's a lot in this new trailer. It's been out for about a week now, and so everybody's had time to pick through it. So have we, and so I really just want to just dive on into it.
Let's
you down?
go.
Cool. So it opens up with a very peculiar rhyme that, in rewatching Rebels with my wife here recently, I noticed was in the first season.
Oh.
Well, no, first season or second season, I'm not 100% sure. It's the first time that Ezra visits the Jedi Temple on Lothal. It's make sure I get this right: Loth Rat, Loth Cat, Loth Wolf Run, pick a path, and all is done. It's their version of Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo,
Right.
from what I could tell. But he uses that during the time where he goes to get his Kyber crystal. So I think it is season 1. He goes to get his Kyber crystal with Kanan on the Jedi Temple in Lothal, and that's how he picks his path. Ends up being the wrong path, but that's how he chooses where he's going to go.
Not
and everything.
a wrong path. I mean, he got his crystal.
Eventually. So I didn't realize, though, that it had been in Rebels before. That was the first time I'd really paid attention to that rhyme, and I was just kind of like, oh, wow, that's profound. And then going back in season 1, it was like, not so profound.
But to me, it is profound because the 3 paths, each animal has their own way of doing things, and see, you say that it opened up to the rhyme. To me, it opened up to pain and suffering. Everybody yelling out for help and what are we going to do, and things are just crushing us at this moment. And then they bring on the rhyme, that these animals, you could choose, I don't know much about these particular creatures, but I think they choose wolf because you see the wolf throughout, but
right. Well, I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, the crying out and everything at the very first of it reminded me a lot of Luke in Empire, where that's what he heard from Leia and Han and his friends, and he had to go. So in the first season, Ezra dealt with visions and things like that, not really knowing how to interpret them, even following a vision to its completion and realizing that it wasn't what it seemed. I think it was with one of the officials on Lothal that was supposed to be for the rebels.
Right.
He ended up being a bait for the rebels to the Empire. And so with that vision, it's interesting that those visions are coming back, especially after Ezra has dealt with the holocron with Maul and everything. I wonder if we're going to see more of that. But the whole wolf thing has been really peculiar. It almost kind of adds mystery to the already mysterious season 4.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm kind of wondering what happens there, because we actually get a scene in the trailer where Ezra's eyes are all purple, looking at hyperspace is what it looks like.
Right.
Which reminded me of when he met the Purgils in season 1.
That would be very cool to have that kind of connection with something. Maybe the wolves, or maybe more Purgil, or who knows. All I know is he's always had this force connection with animals. And it makes me wonder, we know what path they take because we've seen the movies, and but we don't know what path these people take by the end of season 4.
Right, exactly. Which, I mean, you and I have our predictions on who will actually survive the season.
Right. And obviously, we know what Syndulla chooses.
Right.
Hera. We know what she chooses, but we don't know if Kanan and Ezra and Sabine take the same path as her.
Right. And as far as that goes, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know, it was unsettling to me to hear, I mean, obviously everything's out of text, but unsettling for me to hear Ezra talking about how maybe they're choosing the wrong way. Because Kanan's always told him how you fight is what's important, but Ezra's like, well, maybe we're doing it wrong.
Yeah. And it made me wonder, when Kanan was saying that, is he saying that from beyond the grave?
Oh, man. I didn't even think about that.
The way he says it is like, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I thought the way he said it was, I have given up mine, but yes, it's how we choose to fight. And
Yeah.
Ezra's like, well, maybe we are choosing the wrong path because look what happened to you.
Wow. See, I didn't even think about it that way at all. Because I honestly, I do feel like Kanan's not going to make it.
I know
As
he's
much
not
as I
gonna.
want
I
him to,
almost
yeah.
can know he's not gonna make it.
Yeah.
I don't know when in the I don't know when in the timeline he's gonna kick it, and
Right.
I wonder if it's gonna be earlier than the very end.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's talking to Ezra as maybe a Force ghost, or maybe just his memory of his master, and having that connection with him, and maybe that's why he's hearing what Kanan would have said, because I don't know if Kanan has even got the possibility of being a Force ghost at this point, if he's gonna have that particular power. But yeah, I can see that being something that's said to him from beyond his life.
I can see that. I don't want him to die though. That's the
I know.
I love Kanan so much. He's I hate to say this, but he's so much cooler blind. Like when he lost his sight and everything, all through season 3, like he was so much cooler. Like I love his character as a whole, just that reluctant teacher. And even then, it's not reluctance because of what he's got to teach or who he's teaching. It's because of himself. And he's in this constant self-doubt and everything. And I don't know. I feel like he has the most in-depth character so far. Because I know we're going to see a lot out of Hera coming up. And if Kanan does, if and when probably Kanan does bite the dust, I mean, that gives Hera even something else to fight for.
Right, because
which could
she's
explain why we're seeing
much,
her in the X-Wing and stuff like that.
Right, she's pretty much, at this point, put him off to do this. This is what she's gonna do. She's got the blinders on, and she's put everybody behind. And I wonder. I think that this is gonna catalyze her. A lot of things are going to happen in season 4 to catalyze her and harden her, unfortunately, into the warrior that she's going to become.
And I also feel like it's important to note too. So a lot of the fans or the people who went to the Fan Expo in Canada, they said that they noticed Vanessa Marshall, the voice of Hera. She actually teared up during the X-Wing scene in the trailer. And so she kind of got shaky and everything. And so I wonder if maybe that's a clue to something. Something big happens or something like that. Because, I mean, it's really cool to see all of this cast so attached to their characters. I got to see that at Celebration and everything. And they're really involved in their characters. They're a small family in real life. And it's really cool.
Well, I kind of feel like even if Kanan does, bite it in the very beginning, because I think that might happen.
Oh, not at the first of the season. give me a little bit more.
That's just my take. I mean, obviously, but I think that if he's the first one to go, that is going to cause a lot of issues and a lot of story.
Well, a big ripple effect throughout the entire team. It's going to take them all to a whole nother level, and we'll actually get to see how they deal with that pain of someone super close to them. So we kind of see it with Sabine, because obviously the Empire's got some new weapon with that EMP electrical whatever force lightning thing. I don't know. The Fry the Mandalorian's weapon. I don't know, but it looks intense.
It does.
And it was intense in Star Wars Celebration too, because it makes an appearance in the first episode. Spoilers. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I mean, the first episode is Mandalore. It's opening up to what's happening and everything. And I'm not going to spoil the episode, but I mean, you do get a glimpse at that weapon, and it's just as devastating as it seems in the trailer. And seeing Sabine react to that, and if Kanan ends up dying early on in the season, that on top of what she's already dealing with and Ezra and everybody else, That's gonna be heavy.
Yeah, and Ezra to me needs to grow. He's still a kid, even though he shouldn't. I mean, so many things have happened to him that you would think that he would have grown more at this point, but he is. He's still a kid. And I think by the end of season 4, if he survives, he will no longer be a child.
Oh, definitely. Well, and I kind of wonder too, because I mean, obviously his whole journey, Ezra's, has been a fight between the light and the dark side, because he's gone to one extreme and the other, just kind of flirting with the line. I wonder if we may see him fall to the dark side, because we don't know his fate.
We don't know his fate. He may fall to the dark side and lose.
Yeah, because and I don't want that for Ezra, but at the same time, like everything he has really been going towards has been falling that way. That could mean his end. Which would be sad for him, because I mean, you kind of root for him. He's our technical main character.
I think Ahsoka is going to be his new master, and she is going to train him in the gray arts. That is my particular theory.
Yeah.
So that he doesn't have to go dark and he doesn't have to go light. He can just be Ezra, which is really what he would be able to do, because he's not a Jedi.
No, he's not. Yeah.
He doesn't have Jedi traits. He has the Force ability, but to me, that is not necessarily the epitome of a Jedi.
Right. No, definitely. I mean, it's the epitome of a Force wielder.
Right.
Which is what Ahsoka is.
Exactly.
Light or dark, she is a wielder of the Force.
Right.
So if we see Ahsoka come back in that capacity, I mean, that would be awesome.
I think it would too, and I think it's going to happen after Kanan leaves. And Ahsoka's going to come in and say, you can come with me. But, I mean, we'll see.
Well, that's assuming that Ahsoka survives the season, too.
I think she will.
I hope she will.
I think she will.
I really want to see her live action eventually. I think that would be awesome. It was funny because I think I don't know if I told you about this or not, but I went to go get some comics. I think it was a couple weeks back, and at my local comic book shop, and the guy who was ringing me out, he was like, "All right, spread it like wildfire." Rosario Dawson. Yeah, Rosario Dawson is Ahsoka in the next movie, episode 8. We'll see it, and it was funny, but I mean, at the same time, like, I mean, I can dig it. I think that'd be cool.
Well, what's the lifespan of her species, though?
The what now?
The lifespan of her species.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah. So I'm not sure about that, but I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I would like to see Ahsoka live at some point. I think it would be a justification of her character, but I mean, it's not necessary. But at the same time, it would be really cool. Yes, we are going to cover that one.
Book. I got the Ahsoka book for Force Friday, and I was really excited about it. Not that it came out on Force Friday, but that's what I celebrated it with.
No, I love that book. I haven't finished it, but I've gotten a little ways into it, and I love it so far.
So I should just go ahead and read it and not wait for Holocron Book Club?
No, you should absolutely wait for Holocron Book Club. Because I don't really remember much, because we've had, 3 books since I started reading that book. So I told you, I have minimum memory capacity. I can tell you very, very little about it, but yeah. But I mean, as far as Ahsoka goes and everything, like, I definitely want to see her survive. I don't know what Ahsoka after Vader would look like, though. I think that's my only thing. Because, I mean, she's gone through a lot so far. The last time
she had already gone through an immense amount of stuff. And now she's had to fight her old master and survived somehow. And she's going to be broken. So, I mean, whether she's scarred or not, she's going to be scarred.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. And that's the thing is, I mean, like, I'm interested to see who she is coming out of that battle. Because, I mean, she went to in Twilight of the Apprentice, went to that extreme of, well, then I will avenge his death. Full on ready to do it. But I mean, like, she even went so far as to to the point where I'm not going to leave you again.
Right.
And so I wonder, I don't know.
Then like, how did she survive?
Exactly.
She had to leave him at some point. She's going to feel a lot of guilt for leaving the Jedi Order. That's a what if, though. That's one of our what if episodes. But
yes.
That's coming up, our what if episodes. Oh, yeah. But, you know, she's had to leave him twice now, and she's going to have a lot of guilt going on.
I could definitely see her, I mean, not necessarily being a different character, but the growth in her character would be interesting to see what form it takes, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, what direction it takes. Yeah. So that would be something I definitely want to see in season 4. Going with the rebel factions and things like that, I think it's interesting that now we have 2 warring rebel factions with Mon Mothma and Saw Gerrera. We're seeing that take shape.
Yes, and to me, it's like it mimics some of like the civil rights movement. Some of them were more violent than others, but all of them wanted to go at the same. They all had the same goal. They just had different paths to get there. And that's one thing that I love about Star Wars is that it doesn't glorify this stuff. I mean, it's hard and it's terrible. And there are different paths that you can take, and none of them are great.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And sometimes the best path isn't necessarily the best path.
Yes.
So I'm interested to see, I guess, kind of the dynamic between Saw Gerrera and Mon Mothma's rebellion, because I loved how he even put a dig at her, and he was like, well, you can do Mon Mothma's errands, or you can come and actually be with us and make a difference.
Good. Right.
Yeah, do some good. Kind of like these guys are just sitting on their hands, and I mean, like, are they actually going to do anything? Which I think is really interesting.
Well, I feel like that path, they are complementary to each other. They look like they're perpendicular, but really they're really parallel. And they're on different sides of that line, but they're all going towards the same goal.
Right.
And without both factions, I mean, it's impossible to win a rebellion with lawful good. Alignment. It's impossible to win a rebellion strictly on chaotic evil too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I mean, it's like they work together whether they like it or not. One is working out of fear and terrorism, and the other one is working out of diplomacy and attack a little at a time, you know. So I think they're both gaining ground, and they're never going to get along, but I think they have more in common than they think.
Oh yeah, definitely. And side note, Two Tubes makes an appearance in there as well. His bounty hunter friend from Rogue One.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Two Tubes.
I saw that. That's really cool, and I think that you know, we'll get to see more of Saul, hopefully. Because I'm interested in that character.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm interested to see really, truly what Saul's rebellion looks like. As far as what he's doing. Because, I mean, like you said, I mean, a lot of what he does is out of fear and out of terrorism. But what's interesting is early on in, I think it was, I'm trying to remember, I don't remember if it was in Rebels Season 1 or... No, it was in Clone Wars, actually, when we first meet Saul, where they were talking about how they were striking and things like that. And it was like, if you're not careful, you'll lose the people and you'll alienate the people, and then they're not going to be on your side, and kind of things like that. And so
but
I wonder...
at some point, that shifted.
Right. Well, you would assume. That's the thing. Because, I mean, we don't know who is for Saul's rebellion, because I know Mon Mothma and all of them see him as a madman. Right. As somebody who is adverse to what they're doing, even though they're going the same way and doing it differently. But I wonder if he carried on his sister Steela's vision as far as bringing in the people to the rebellion and showing them that we can fight back instead of just becoming this terrorist cell causing chaos for the Empire, but in the same sense, disrupting the lives of everybody around them.
Right.
So it would be interesting to see how he balanced that out, or if he balanced that out.
Well, I think there's going to be a following for both.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
A big following for both.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So yeah, so in continuing with Rogue One, we get a cool mention in there for Project Stardust.
I know we get, and Krennic and and that brings up Thrawn for me.
Yes,
but we'll get there. But yeah, we get Stardust and the Death Star, and I'm really excited to see where season 4 is going to finish in comparison to Rogue One.
I really hope it meets up with it, or at least maybe a year before, or something like that.
I hope it does too. Or even if it includes it a little bit and then has an episode or two after. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if somewhere like they make a mention, well, we're going to go do this, and then they come back after, Operation Rogue One or whatever, and then they all die.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing, is I kind of wonder, because I mean, we know at least we're going to go to Yavin 4, where the rebellion is on Rogue One, in Rogue One and everything, because we see Callus there with the temple behind him and everything,
right?
And so we'll at least get to see Yavin 4, the main base of operations. I just hope that we get real close to it. Like you said, at least passing in it, and then maybe after, something like that to complete that, tie that in.
That's what I hope.
Yeah. I mean, I think that would be awesome.
Just the way Rogue One was able to tie in Rogue One and A New Hope.
Right.
I think the way they did
I love when they fill in gaps. Right. I love that. Because I hate what happened here? Well, there's this much time between. Anything could have happened here, like stuff like that. It's like, okay, well, now we absolutely know, here's this timeline. And I think it'd be cool because I know that Lucasfilm's kind of working towards filling in those gap timelines. That's really where they're trying to pull their money from with Rogue One, Han Solo, and whatever other standalone films they do. But it'd be cool to finally have that era filled in and start a new era.
I would like some more Leia too, by the way.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah. Well, now, we got the Leia novel.
It's right here.
Oh, that's right. You already have it.
I have it.
I'm thinking I might buy it for my wife. I haven't decided yet. So she's really excited about it, so I probably will.
Well, I have a friend who just read it, and it's really good, he said.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be her growing up or something like that.
It's her and Alderaan, the Princess of Alderaan.
That's awesome. But so cool.
Yeah, he said it really. I can't remember the exact words, but he really liked it. It filled in a lot of blanks.
Well, I think I made my decision.
Yes.
Well, cool. So let's see. So
I want to talk about Thrawn really quick because we've read that now.
Yes.
And so we know that he's not as horrible and monster-like as you would have thought from season 3.
Right.
And I feel like I wonder where he's going to come into play, because at the end of Thrawn, he was into Stardust trying to figure out what that project was, and he was very big into trying to figure out how to not kill the entirety of the world.
Right.
And so I wonder where he's going to be by the end of season 4.
That's true. I don't know. I feel like Thrawn's going to survive. I don't feel like he would be one of those characters that would be one-off kind of. Well, obviously he's not one-off. He's the first villain that they've carried over season to season. But I don't know. Like I feel like it would almost be a shame if they just ended him. Even though I know that there's that prophecy, but
and
yeah,
I wonder. I think because he doesn't have the best path either. When it's war, who has the best path? Nobody has the best path. I would like to see him survive, but if he doesn't, I would like him to be dragged down by the Mandalorians. Mm-hmm. And that's because he's probably the one that has punished them for participating in the last battle of season 3. In 0 Hour. And I feel like maybe that would be his penance.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, if anybody's going to take him out, it has to be the Mandalorians.
Or if they bring him down, they don't necessarily have to bring him down to death.
Although that seems like the more viable option.
Yes, but there could be a point where they bring him down to kill him, and he does his Thrawn thing, saying, by the way, I'm not who you think I am.
Mm-hmm.
And he strategizes himself out of it.
I could see that happening. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I almost kind of feel like this rebellion, though, even though, because it's kind of beat him a couple times. Like, I feel like it's got him a little off his game.
It does
like,
have
I feel
him
like
off his game.
Yeah.
I just hope that he gets back on his game by the end.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Definitely. I mean, now that we know what we know about Thrawn, like, I'm not rooting as much against him. And it feels weird.
Right. I don't know. I'm not rooting against him at all. In fact, I wonder if he's going to be another, what is that guy's name?
Tarkin?
No.
The
good guy that was the bad guy, and now he's the good guy. He's switched.
Callus.
I knew it was a K or T or something. Anyway, so yeah, I thought that maybe he could be an inside person.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe not helping out the rebellion, but an inside person to sabotage certain things while still maintaining others.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, and it was made clear that he's definitely against the Death Star in Thrawn. So, I mean, it stands to reason that he's doing something on the side. He's keeping up appearances, and he's doing something to try and prevent that Death Star from happening because he knows that the Emperor's not going to keep his word with it. Right. There's no way. Why would you build a world-ending machine and go, I promise I'm not going to do yours? Right. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
But he could go back to the Ascendancy. He could, I mean, there's all kinds of things that he could do, to help his people. And maybe that's where he goes at the end, is back home.
So more of a full retreat back home to save his people.
Right.
I could see that.
Because that's always been his main goal, is to save his people.
True. So I would like to see that. It'd be cool to finally see the Chiss Ascendancy.
Right. And then he could be back with Eli.
That's true. Oh, Eli. Rebels cameo. That would be cool.
That would be cool. Sabine has to choose.
Yes.
She has to prove her loyalty to her people and her family above the rebels. And we don't know if it's above the rebels, but that's where I feel that it's going. And so it makes me wonder. Yeah.
Well, I mean, she technically already made a choice once. Yes. But she chose to stay on Mandalore.
Yeah, but she took all of her people that would go to save the rebels. So she did not make that choice.
That's true. So I wonder if Bo-Katan will force her to make that choice.
Yes, I think that she will have to make that choice, and I don't know which one she's going to choose, but I think that it's going to be very huge for her.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I wonder if that choice could intersect with her helping the rebellion, though. Because, I mean, part of the reason why the Empire has come to Mandalore is because they tried to stay as a state of neutrality. They weren't going to get involved.
Right.
They weren't going to have Empire or occupation, but they ended up getting Empire occupation.
Right. And
like
then
that.
At the end, she totally alienated most of her people by going to help the rebels and then asked for help in return. And Hera goes, no, sorry, can't spare them. You know, can't spare square. So, it's like, I don't feel that she is going to be able to choose the rebels because they chose not to choose her.
I could see that for sure, because it's going to be one of those, well, where were they? I could see that happening. It really feels like that, even though it all may not end in death, Which, I mean, for most of the crew members, it probably will, if we're being honest. But it kind of feels like all of the paths are going different ways for them.
Mm-hmm.
So Ezra's is pulling one way, Sabine's is pulling one way, Hera's is one way, Kanan's probably will end. And then we have Zeb and Chopper that we really don't know much about, other than that they're there. Nothing really has been revealed for them or anything like that.
Well, Zeb might go home too.
That's true.
To the new, I can't remember the name, but
yeah, Lasan.
Yeah, he could go home. You don't know.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It doesn't feel like something that Zeb would do.
No, it doesn't.
Because I mean, the Empire's not defeated.
He's going to go down with the ship.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I see in him. But I mean, that's the only way he's going to survive is if he goes home.
True. Man, this is getting sad.
Well, I'm just
thinking about it. Yeah,
you wanted me to watch the trailer.
No, I mean, you're right though. I mean, I don't see where this season could have a happy ending.
No.
But I mean, it's definitely going to be a resolution of some point.
Well, it's Star Wars. It's not going to be a happy ending. The only thing that it's going to end in is hope. That's all it's going to end in.
That's guaranteed. Yeah.
And really, that's all that you can end it with. I mean, if you're being honest, even though it's animated, it's Star Wars. I mean, I know that animated gets a lot of flack, but it's still Star Wars, and it still hurts, and it's poignant.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I completely agree with that. So moving on from that, we do have a few new characters that we're seeing in there, but one of note, played by Warwick Davis, Rook, the person that, the being that Thrawn employs to go after the rebels, which looks creepy as everything, for one. But he's from the extended universe.
Yes, he is, and I don't know much about him. I have heard when Davis actually tried out for that part. I did watch that.
Yes.
That was hilarious. You'll have to look that up, but it's on YouTube.
Yes.
But it's curious to me. Thrawn says capture Syndulla. And that makes me wonder if Thrawn is sitting there saying, hey, by the way, this is the only person that I can get this Stardust information to.
Yeah.
Maybe he's saying capture Syndulla instead of killing her so that he can have a little back and forth with her instead of just killing her right out. And but I don't know.
No, definitely. I mean, with his strategic mentality at everything, it stands to reason that there's no reason why he would want to just exterminate her.
Right.
Well, because obviously she's doing something right, and there's something that he needs to learn that he does not know yet.
Right.
And so, I mean, I could see them meeting back up again, which, I mean, after their first meeting, I don't imagine the second one's going to go too well.
I wonder, though, I mean, because he doesn't really, I don't know if he knows about Galen and Jen Erso. I don't know if he knows that part. So he feels maybe that he's doing his part to prevent Stardust by relaying the information that he does have to the rebels.
Yeah, I could see that. So definitely, I would definitely be interested to see Thrawn's tactical take on everything.
Yes.
As shaken as he was, that we left him in 0 hour at the end of last season. I'm definitely interested to see how he's gotten his bearings, and if he's just unhinged or if he's actually gotten himself together, which is more likely, but gotten himself together. Yeah.
But
let's see what happens there.
Yeah,
so,
we'll see.
But I mean, with him employing Rook, I wonder if Rook is more of an assassin or a bounty hunter, or what role he really plays. Because if it's capture, then I don't know. That's interesting to me.
Yeah, and I don't know the story of Rook, what it's going to be in canon.
Yeah, right.
I wish I did, and I wish I knew more non-canon. I wish I knew more Legends.
Yeah.
But I think that as far as Rook goes, he could even be indebted to Thrawn for whatever reason.
Definitely.
Or employed by, maybe not necessarily a bounty hunter, but maybe he is Thrawn's guy for stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't know.
We'll have to see.
Yep, we'll find out in season 4, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So cool. So was there anything else you wanted to talk about the trailer?
No, I think that's it.
Awesome, cool. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up. So yeah, there's a lot coming for season 4, guys. A whole lot. Which, I mean, I'm sure you already know. But we will be watching it right there with you. Throughout the entire season, we will have review episodes coming out. I know that the episode's going to premiere like 6 times in one day or something like that, which is really odd, but we will be watching with you for sure. So we'll have our review episodes out every single week to talk Rebels with you and to digest all of the heartbreaking things that we will experience.
Yes, and we're going to be putting our holocron on hold while we do our Rebels so that we could really get in there like we do with holocron. We'll do that with Rebels.
Absolutely. And hopefully we'll be able to have some of our old guests back on.
Yeah.
So I haven't spoke with them yet, but we will get with them and see what we can do to have some of our old cosplay guests coming back on to talk some Rebels and Ahsoka and all that kind of stuff with us.
Yes.
Which will be exciting. So cool. So, and guys, make sure if you haven't already, like and share us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Kessel Run Weekly. You can find us on KesselRunWeekly.com as well. Our episodes are out every Wednesday and Friday. And until next time, my name is Danny.
I'm Heather.
And may the Force be with you.